So, I'm recording this for the British Dupuytren Society, and to explain the task to those that don't know, I'm basically going to be recording me doing different tasks wearing these gloves. And this is with and without these poppers done up, which is used to try and replicate the condition of Dupuytren's contracture. So, enjoy. First of all, I'm going to try and do these potatoes. I've got two different kinds of peelers, so I'm just going to try and do it first of all with the gloves on. Oops. Which seem to make it quite tricky anyway. Obviously here I haven't got the poppers done up on the gloves, but to try and make it a fair test, I thought I'd do it with the gloves on, but without the poppers done up. So it's quite easy, apart from the potato flying around everywhere, because it's quite slippery with these gloves on. Perhaps if they ever make these again, they should design them to not be quite so slippery. With this peeler, it's very easy, and actually I must admit I use this peeler most of the time, so I'll probably try and stick to using this one. So as you can see, that was quite an easy task. I've been told by several patients, however, that with the glove on and the popper on, it's probably not going to be quite so simple. So probably especially with the other peeler, I'm guessing, because I can't with this. I don't think it's going to be quite so. No, it's not as easy. I wouldn't say it's much slower, but it feels very, very awkward, because this finger down here is the one. This one here is the one that's stuck down by the popper, and it's really getting in the way. Obviously I'm trying to push against it because my finger isn't contracted. But overall, I'd say that's awkward, but not significantly harder, although actually with this peeler I would say it's much harder. So now a task I thought I'd quickly demonstrate, although probably not appropriate for most of the age demographic that have this condition. It is, I quite enjoy playing on the PlayStation on occasion, and I thought I'd try and hold the controller. So as you can see, normally it's really very easy to hold the controller. However, you do these poppers, to actually hold the controller in a game playing manner is almost impossible. This finger just completely gets in the way, and so while I'm sure it's not an issue for most, but for younger people getting this condition, that obviously is not going to change your life not being able to play on the PlayStation, but I imagine it'll be a bit of a pain. So many of the people with Dupuytren's contracture are elderly, and they may require the use of a walking stick. I actually require the use of a walking stick anyway, because of being a lederhosen patient, and so I thought I'd see whether it's possible for me to use a walking stick with these gloves on and the poppers done up. So first of all, just to demonstrate, normally when I use the stick, just grip it like this or however, and obviously push weight down on it. However, with the poppered glove, it's really not possible, not only just to hold it properly, it's really very awkward to hold, but also I can't put any pressure down on the stick without putting a lot of pressure on that bent finger, and it's quite painful, to be honest, and I imagine that it would make the use of a stick extremely difficult for any Dupuytren's patient, and certainly as lederhosen patients or increased risk of Dupuytren's and Dupuytren's patients an increased risk of lederhosen, I could see that there could be an issue there if you have both and you need to use a stick, that you wouldn't be able to if your fingers were starting to contract. Me typing without gloves to see as a comparison. Popper came off. Oh crikey, this is really, really awkward, and I'm having to revert almost to just basic finger typing. So one of the things I wanted to try was something that I saw written up in someone's report of having this condition, and this was that they were unable to play with their nieces and nephews as much as they liked. So I don't have any nieces or nephews with me at the moment, so it was a choice between using a big cuddly toy or, as the opportunity presented itself, the cat. So I'm just going to do it with the gloves on up, and here's my test subject. And holding her with the gloves on, it is not as easy as it could be, and she's being her typical feisty self anyway. But so perhaps I go to the cuddly toy, and I can see how having this condition all the time could cause problems, because you have weight put down onto these fingers, and I found this when wearing these actually, that grabbing handles, grabbing doors and everything like that, I keep bashing this finger. And another thing I was asked to try with these gloves was putting proper normal gloves on. Now unfortunately I don't tend to get cold, so I don't actually own a pair of myself, so I found a couple of my wife's gloves. So just to prove that I can get these on, because they're a bit small, I can get my hand in the glove. Now the issue comes obviously that these aren't designed for you to be able to put gloves on, because the popper connects, and so obviously I can't put a finger over that. So I'm just going to have to pretend that I can't move my finger from this position. And I think straight away you can see that it's just not going to work. How can I get my fingers in there? I can perhaps get them in, but I mean obviously I don't know how flexible this finger is from not being a patient. I don't know if I can push it further down, but even then obviously I can't put my hand all the way in, and it ends up that finger then is pushed down and bent over in the glove and not actually in the finger. I can't see any way around this, to be honest. Fingerless gloves might work to some extent, but then obviously they don't really keep your fingers warm. So I can certainly see how wearing gloves could be an issue for Dupuytren's patients. And as I say, it's not something I can see a way around, but certainly get very cold hands.